Jalen, let's move on here from the NFL and let's talk some NBA. Because as you mentioned, oh boy, there are some juicy stories going on in the NBA. And the main one is Kevin Durant has asked out of Brooklyn. Now, I have said on air here over the past 2 weeks, ever since this story broke, my takeaway on it is this: Kevin Durant is an all time great talent. He's a top five basketball player currently in the NBA. When it's all said and done, he may be in the top 10 or top five historically in NBA history. However, the problem I have with the NBA in today's league is guys sign 1 year contracts for max money. They sign with a bad team already. And then when things go south in year one, they cry and they bitch and they moan and they complain. I want out. And it's a bad look because when you sign a contract for a job, you cannot just ask out after a couple bad months on the job. You have to stick it through. And so my takeaway on this, if I'm Brooklyn, is I understand, Kevin, if you don't want to play with Kyrie Irving anymore. He's got a 1 year contract. He could leave at the end of next year, even though he did opt in. If we find a good trade package for Kyrie, we will do it to try to get something back for him. But you are staying, and if we can't get something for Kyrie next year, you're the reason why Kyrie is here. You're part of the reason why Ben Simmons is here because James Harden did not want to be here anymore. We're going to make you stick this out for the integrity of the league itself.
See, that's not how the NBA is anymore. The NBA is strictly uh, jump on bandwagons, jump on super teams.
Which is why the ratings have gone down. It's why the popularity has gone down. It's such a bad look for the sport, and I have criticized my man, as you know, LeBron James for doing this and getting Russell Westbrook last year, which was an all-time bad decision. It was a bad move by everybody involved. Brooklyn getting James Harden was a bad move. Brooklyn getting Ben Simmons was a bad move. And I'm not here to criticize guys like Damian Lillard and Bradley Beal. Like, they've been loyal to their franchises before. Now, if I was both of those guys, I would have requested a trade with 1 year left on my contract. The biggest difference here to me is, listen, if KD had 1 year left on his contract, Jalen, I would be okay with that. I would be like, okay, KD, where would you like to go? We can accommodate that trade request because you're not going to be here next year, and we can try to get something back for you now at least. But last summer, he signed a max extension. You can't trade a guy 1 year after he signed a max extension. That's such a bad look for all parties involved.
Well, Kyrie pushes everyone out. Kyrie complains. Oh,
But this isn't about this. The KD and Kyrie situation to me are two different things. And I said Kyrie, it's because of the length of the contract. I understand it. Kyrie has 1 year left on his contract. If Durant wants out, why don't you just trade Kyrie and try to get something back and just have Kevin Durant and Ben Simmons, who Kevin Durant pretty much forced the Nets to go get anyway. And I understand he's a liability. I'm not defending Ben Simmons. I'm not as big of a fan as Ben Simmons. But I'm just saying, Durant's the reason why they're all in this mess in the first place. At some point, you got to lay in your bed and lie in it.
it's people are complaining about this now. When if you watch the was it the Milwaukee series? Who did they play in the playoffs? And
The
they got
first round, they got swept by Boston.
That's right. Okay, so they got swept by Boston, and Boston's a solid team. Jason Tatum, Jalen Brown, all the rest of the boys are pretty decent. Like, that's not a bad team, but you could tell Kai didn't want to be there. Kevin Durant really wasn't playing to his full potential. Ben Simmons.
But that's your job though, Jalen. Like not to
Oh,
interrupt here, but that's like your job.
yeah, but if you're a superstar diva like Kyrie and Kevin Durant, no one gives a damn if it's your job. They don't care. They're gonna make money anyways. It doesn't matter how they play.
Well, you know what? We need integrity back into the sport. One thing that that the NFL has done, and listen, the NFL has its own fault. Guys are moving left and right now. I completely understand that. But there is some point to like, hey, this guy has 1 year left on his contract. He's not going to stay. Then we move him. When a guy signs a max contract, we're not going to cater to everybody's single trade request. In the NBA now, it's, oh, well, I signed a 4-year deal last year, but, I'm not happy. So I want to go to LA, or I want to go to the Knicks, or I want to go somewhere. And they trade you to the team that you request. And guys that do not have no trade clause, meaning they can be traded anywhere, they still accommodate their requests. Like, they don't even try to get the best deal for themselves. I don't understand the culture. Why is this a thing?
You know who we can thank for this team hopping like this? LeBron, Raymond James.
No, don't start. I already told you that the difference between LeBron James and these other players, and mainly Kevin Durant, because this is the main one I have a problem with, is because when LeBron left, he was a free agent. He could go wherever he wanted to because he fulfilled his agreement of the contract. If Kevin Durant was a free agent and he left Brooklyn, kudos to him. You can go wherever you want. You can go back to Golden State. I don't give a rip. But Kevin Durant, Jalen, let me just put it to you this way. If you get a job, you sign a 4-year contract with your new job, and 3 months later you say, you go to your boss and you say, you know what, man, this coworker over here next to me, man, he's calling me names, he's calling me fat, he's making fun of me. I want out of this company. You know what your boss is going to say?
Hell no.
Boom. You nailed it. So why shouldn't Kevin Durant's boss tell him, hell no, you're staying in Brooklyn?
Because he's Kevin Durant, right?
But it doesn't matter. We have to hold everybody accountable.
You think those guys care about being held accountable?
Yes, they should. If you're
But they don't, Brandon, and that's the sad part about this game. They don't care. They don't.
Then it's pointless. Then why are we supporting the athletes? Why are we watching the product if they don't care?
Because there are some people who care. Guys like Brad Beal, Damian Lillard, Donovan Mitchell, whose team is like falling apart, but we haven't heard anything from Donovan Mitchell. Which, if I'm Donovan Mitchell, I'm getting the hell out of Utah.
Well, we've heard rumors about the Knicks potentially being interested. Utah wants about 4 first-round picks, same amount Minnesota gave up for Rudy freaking Gobert. I mean, the NBA is just a mess right now. It's unbelievable.